Evening, folks. Brian here at Geomagnetic Earthwatch. Monday, June 9, 2025. So, how much of you are glued into the current world events? The U.S. violence and the potential for martial law for the entire country. Geopolitical tensions, Ukraine conflicts, etc. If you are all consumed with these events, then you may be slipping off track. I believe we are on the verge, on the cusp of a celestial event, a crossing of the two systems, and we are about to feel the rumblings preceding the book of Luke, chapter 21, 26. Now, for those of you who do not know, and I'll include some links, there's a very well-respected Planet X-ray researcher by the name of John Moore, the Liberty Man, who's a former Vietnam veteran, Special Forces Green Beret, Special Ops, Covert Ops, Psychological Ops, Undercover, Executive Bodyguard, and a former homicide detective who's put in a great many years into the research of the coming system. In an article of 2008, Mr. Moore stated that it is far easier to impose martial law if the population is already under lockdown from, say, as he said then, a pandemic. The statement was made in 2008. Very interesting. Now, back then, it was only an estimate on the arrival of the system. And perhaps very recently, they have refined the trajectory, the timing. Now, it is understood that the intersection happens every 3,600 years. I've been through this. And in fact, there's archaeological and geological evidence of sudden climate shifts every 3,600 years. And again, I've already been through that. I've given many examples. I just kept on going back, and I kept on adding 3,600 years, approximate. I went as far back as 29,000 years, and every single time, bam! Most of the times, major volcanic eruptions, civilizations end, new ones emerge, major climate shifts, etc. So if we're at that 3,600-year timeline once again, given what I show you, it's happening on our planet, and you need to once again, so remember, the pandemic of 2019, 2020 was immediately after the geomagnetic north suddenly accelerated. It caught them off guard. And again, that's when the U.S. government shutdown was, end of 2018 into 2019. I surmise that's when they had to suddenly do a whole lot of resetting on things like GPS, guidance systems, ICBMs, and so forth. And when they realized the timeline is moving up fast, they already had the substance developed. They needed a reason to introduce it into the population. The manufactured emic. I will include links to Mr. Moore's talks on the subject. One through Brighteon, Mike Adams. Scroll down and you'll see the link, censorship resistant link, because none of the platforms will allow that link to be posted. So I might suggest maybe that everything that's happening in the United States right now is obviously orchestrated, but for the end goal of having justification for a countrywide martial law and locking down the population. I've seen the maps of planned protests coming up in a few days and all that. This is a setup. Are we that much closer now to the book of Luke? It's my suggestion. Don't be so distracted by what you see on the news. I turned off the news. I cut the cord years ago, long time ago. So, no, that's what I think, folks. And most of everything else happening in the world, it's all been an orchestrated distraction because they know the intersection timing is closing up. And then I guess we're going to have to wait and see how things get out of hand in the United States. I think someone's itching for an excuse to mobilize at the same time as somebody's birthday parade. I think that's going to be it for this talk, folks. I am going to be redoing my YouTube introduction video because things have changed now. And again, I think we're just that much closer to the celestial crossing event, which will put nations in distress and perplexity at the roaring and the tossings of the seas, followed by men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking upon that which is coming to the earth, awaiting in anticipation, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Boom, boom. See, it's all there. His playlist is far more reliable than anybody else. Cuckoo people. And I'm going to be back later on tonight. I'm going to trying to get caught up on things like the SO2 over Australia. There's been a new batch over Sydney and so forth. And yeah, stay safe, America. I think it's going to get like 100 times worse. That is all.